The dynamic between Elon Musk's SpaceX and NASA has been an ever-interesting one, with both sides pushing the boundaries of space exploration. However, SpaceX might have proven that it's the most sophisticated space organization with this new design and revolutionary tech in the Starship. But what exactly does the Starship have that seems to rub mud in the face of NASA? Well, we'll learn that today on this video. Make sure you stick around to the end, because in today's video we'll be uncovering some previously unheard sides to the ongoing collaboration and exciting competition that's driving space exploration forward. Now let's get right into it. From the Falcon spacecrafts to the Dragon capsule and high-power Raptor engines, SpaceX has often been ahead of NASA. Only recently did NASA get ahead following a cooperation with Sierra Space in building the Dream Chaser, a spacecraft that could land on airplane runways. Technically, NASA shifted the whole landing event from the dreadful horizontal water landing to the more advanced horizontal landing on runways. Despite this though, SpaceX definitely knows how to trash an opponent. The Starship is SpaceX's most advanced vehicle and is designed for both crewed and uncrewed flights. The style of this vehicle is what makes it way better than any of NASA's spacecrafts. The Starship's heat shield, designed to protect the capsule from heat during re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, is made of hexagonal tiles that cover the part of the shuttle that faces forwards on re-entry. These hexagonal tiles are formed from ceramic-based material called silica, much like your floor tiles at home, but only thicker and more heat-resistant. The silica used is no ordinary floor type and is in fact a special type similar to the RCC or PICA materials on some NASA crafts, only modified by SpaceX. In other words, SpaceX took NASA's tile designs and made them much better. What are the improvements made by SpaceX on NASA's tiles? Well, for one thing, SpaceX made their hexagonal tiles reusable so that they don't have to make extreme body repairs after a flight. The tiles on the Starship compared to those on NASA crafts are also highly emissive, meaning they reflect away most of the light that hits them. These tiles will prevent the interior of the Starship from overheating. If you don't know how important this is, understand that the heat absorbed by weakly emissive tiles could literally fry anyone inside the shuttle. Incredible, huh? The Starship's heat shield isn't its only advantage over NASA's vehicles. The Starship is almost totally made of Type 301 stainless steel, a shuttle-grade lightweight type of steel that remains durable at really high or low temperatures. No pressure for the Starship, just a smooth trip. The Starship's welding system required 4 different types of welding: gas tungsten, arc welding, robotic welding, friction stir welding, and laser welding. Why use 4 different types of welding? Well, if you're going to stay above NASA, you've got to be almost perfect. The gas tungsten arc welding is the first stage of welding of the Starship, requiring a tungsten electrode. It provides really clean and strong welds and prevents distortion of the stainless steel during metalwork. NASA also uses this too, so why not be better? The Starship's second stage welding is automated, increasing the precision and efficiency of each weld. It's also much faster, accurate, and of higher quality. It is this welding system that is used for the cylindrical sections of the shuttle. NASA most likely also uses this too, so again the Starship has got to be better. Friction stir welding displays the first welding difference between NASA shuttles and the Starship. Basically, this involves a rotating tool, heating and stirring the metal pieces to be joined without exactly welding them. Why is this useful? Well, it produces defect-free welds that are highly resistant to corrosion. The steel body of the Starship needs this, as it minimizes the formation of micro cracks and distortion that could affect the spacecraft's aerodynamics. If you were surprised by this one, wait till you hear the 4th welding system. Lasers carry enough power to obliterate objects and critically burn or melt them. SpaceX took this power and, while creating the Starship, implemented it in making the capsule's body. The laser melts down metal pieces together and rejoins them, thus removing any small holes or micro cracks that could cause a body defect. It is an extremely precise system as the laser goes around the craft, scans it wholly for defects, and melts the adjoining metal pieces so they can fuse together and close out any defect. This is exactly why the Starship has a perfect body. No cracks, no holes, nothing. If I was NASA right now, I'd probably sneak into SpaceX and learn how their laser and friction stir welding systems work. This is a breakthrough indeed. But much more than this, what else does the Starship have over NASA? It would surprise you to know that these aren't the only interesting features of the Starship that make it much better than any NASA vehicle. Let's see some of them. The Super Heavy is the custom-made booster for the Starship, and believe it or not, it is one hell of a rocket. The Super Heavy generates a record-breaking 16 million pounds of thrust, almost twice the power of NASA's Saturn V thrusters, and much more than is generated by the SLS Block 1 thruster. Okay, let's break this down a bit. The Starship's thruster has twice the power of NASA's most powerful rocket. The Super Heavy is also designed to be reusable, cutting down fuel costs or the need to make new thrusters. I don't think NASA has any reusable thruster, and even if they do, they don't have one that possesses the power of the Super Heavy's 33 Raptor engines. Elon Musk really hit the spot with this one. Okay, this is the game changer. The Starship is amazing on its own, and its booster, the Super Heavy, is also incredible. The Mechazilla, however, is just crazy. Unlike NASA's thrusters, which are mostly designed for single use, the Super Heavy is designed to be reusable. Now, it definitely has to return back to Earth after launching a Starship vehicle. How it would be received on Earth is what is insane. The Mechazilla Tower is a massive clamp stand, much like the one you'd find in a science laboratory, only this time meant to catch and hold the returning Super Heavy booster mid-air. With this, the Super Heavy can conveniently be received without any crashes or defects, making it reusable without a need for major repairs. And yes, many Mechazilla Towers have already been built. While NASA scientists and engineers are working to perfect the horizontal landing of their shuttles and rockets in the ocean, SpaceX have gotten as advanced and vertically landing both the Starship and the Super Heavy. Vertical landing is a really important technique every spaceship must have if its reusability must be guaranteed. It ensures reduced damages to the craft and also positions it in such a way that it can be quickly arranged for a reuse. The Starship and the Super Heavy can both land vertically, with Super Heavy using its Mechazilla Tower, while the Starship on its Raptor thrusters. For NASA, this would probably take a couple of years to perfect. Compared to NASA spacecrafts, which are designed for specific missions like the SLS for lunar missions and the NASA Space Shuttle for low Earth orbiting, the Starship is designed for multiple missions. For crewed missions, it can convey up to 100 passengers, significantly more than any NASA vehicle can convey. This makes it useful for deep space explorations or carrying large scientific teams to the moon. For cargo, it had adjustable space for carrying quite a lot, including scientific equipment, supplies, or large payloads like habitats and rovers, things NASA cannot dream of carrying for another decade or even more. The Starship can be used for other missions like in-space refueling while in orbit, also for satellite deployment. Only a few NASA shuttles can attempt these feats. One more advancement of the Starship over NASA's best shuttles would be the cost required to launch these vehicles. It is quite costly to build a spacecraft. It is another thing to launch it. Launching a NASA SLS to the moon usually costs around $2 billion. The launch of NASA's Space Shuttle was approximately $450 million. We haven't even spoken about incurred damages to the launch site and all. Comparatively, the Starship costs significantly less than $10 million per launch. This is over 200 times less than the launch cost of the SLS and over 45 times less than that of the Space Shuttle. Despite Elon Musk being the richest man on Earth, he really does know how to manage his resources. That's one more thing NASA has to learn from SpaceX. It is quite clear that the unspoken battle between NASA and Elon Musk's SpaceX might just be over, with the Starship being our winner. While NASA often creates shuttles, rockets, and engines to outdo themselves and their opponents, we can't exactly say if they can get over the Starship's awesomeness. If they are going to beat SpaceX in this space game, they have quite a long way to go. The making of engines more powerful than SpaceX's Raptor engines, a rocket as fierce as the Super Heavy, or even better, and even the creation of something much more advanced than the Starship. Even if they can build something like the Starship, the Super Heavy, or even the Mechazilla, there are many other things that they have to watch out for. Reusability, cost, and vertical landing are very important features they should consider if they want to beat the Starship. When or how NASA would overtake SpaceX is unknown. We can't be so sure NASA will create something as good as the Starship, even in another decade. We can only hope that they get better at what they do. In the meantime, SpaceX's Starship remains the most advanced spacecraft mankind has ever made. And with that, we come to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed this, click the like button, don't forget to share it with your friends, and for the latest updates on our space news and adventures, make sure to subscribe to Space Minds.